Hi everyone, my name is Jessica, or Hope Anchors the Soul, however you want to look at it. And for those of you who don't know me, because I'm relatively new, I do ASMR tarot videos, ASMR recovery, because I'm an alcoholic in recovery videos, help videos. I'm always here if somebody wants to reach out to me, would like just someone to talk to for any help. I am 5 months sober myself. I'm on my own journey in recovery, obviously. So I try to share my story a little bit at a time, and like I said, I am new to sharing it, so I've only shared so much so far, but a little at a time is still coming through. But feel free to ask any questions or request anything that you would like to hear. I'm happy to share anything. I'm an open book. And yeah, ask any questions you'd like or request anything that you'd like to hear and anything like that. So tonight's video is going to be something that I always focused on for myself, but I never really spoke to you guys about, or I don't know, openly focused on with other people. I just focus on it with myself, if that makes sense. And that's the importance of how do I word it? Fellowship or outside support rather than my own internal support. And that's a big part of my story also. So it'll be partially my story and partially just the importance of it in general. And that'll come towards the end of my story with it. So it's all kind of intertwined. So yeah. So, sorry, I don't mean to be yawning on you. I'm tired tonight, but there's one thing I always say, it's I would have gotten up and not been tired to go and get a drink, so I'm gonna get up, not be tired to do this. That's the way I look at it. So yeah, so when I was drinking, which obviously wasn't that long ago, but I feel like it was that long ago because I feel like a whole new person now. When I was drinking, I would always say that I didn't want to be like that anymore. I didn't want to be that person to rely on a substance to run my life, because that's what it was doing. The substance was running my life. Like, I would wake up in the morning shaking, and in order to start my day, I would have to have some kind of shot or drink of some sort just so I could not shake enough to write my name, or depending on what I was doing, like clip a leash onto a dog collar. Or if I was going to school, write my name on the top of my paper. Or just not vomit first thing in the morning. Or, just basically just not want to get out. To actually get out of bed instead of just wanting to lay there. Because I was drenched in my own sweat from my body trying to sweat out the toxins that I had indulged myself in the night before, but needing more of it just to function. So yeah, so I didn't want to be like that anymore. So there was a few times that I would, and I did, and I went to the hospital a few times, as I've said in previous videos, that I stopped drinking cold turkey And I went through the process. The first day, I would throw up violently all day long. And I wouldn't sleep that night because I could not stop throwing up. I was very, very ill, and my insides felt like they were just coming out of my body, and I would just be like, if you've seen the movie Grown Ups with Adam Sandler and Kevin James and Chris Rock and all them, there's a part that I forget his name, but they're in the Kmart store, and the guy's using the bathroom. He says, "Get out of me." That's just how I felt throwing up. It was just like, get out of me. And then you get to the point that there's nothing left in you, and it's like, what is there left to get out of me? And then your whole body starts to shake even more because you're just trying to force it out there. You're like, but yeah. And then the second day, you're sweating, and then you get the chills because you're sweating, and then you get the chills so your body shakes more, and then it starts to sweat more because it's shaking, and it's a whole cycle process that you just keep going through. And then later that night you can finally sleep, maybe. And then maybe, depending on how much you drank, maybe that's when your hallucinations start. And that's when you really have to go to the hospital. So then you go to the hospital for another like 4 days or so. And then you come home, and then you think you can do it on your own. And just as long as you isolate from everyone else, it's okay, because you can do it by yourself. But that's not the case. Because if you're by yourself, you're just saying, okay, no one's going to know if I do it. No one's going to know if I drink. The only person who's going to know is me, and I can do it just in moderation. I can do a little at a time. That's not true. And real alcoholic can't just do a little at a time. There's truth to the statement, 1 is too many and 1,000's never enough. Because that one that you first take, sorry,
Your boy's making the least
my
problem. But frankly, his personal hygiene is becoming a cause for concern.
Not only did my dog hit my remote, but then my table actually screwed up his camera. So, here we go. Alright. Sorry about that. Anyways, so, yeah. So then you're at home, and then you think, okay, yeah, I can just do a little, no one's ever gonna know about it. And then, for me at least, that happened. It would last. The first time I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do this, and it lasted maybe, I don't know, a month or 2, maybe. I don't remember. It was maybe a couple years ago. Every time was different. I think the most other than this time was like maybe 105 days or something like that, other than this time. That was last year around this time, I think. But that was another time that I tried to do it by myself, and I didn't reach out for help. And it's hard when you don't reach out for help, or at least just knowing that somebody's there with you. Because yes, my husband did try to do it with me, but then he would just fall through because he didn't care. I mean, he did care, but the booze was stronger than him. And he would just be like, I had a craving, I'm getting a drink. And I would say, why? Because I had a craving, so I'm gonna do it. That's all he cared about, was I had a craving, I'm gonna do it. Because he thinks he's He-Man and he can do that. And every time he fell back into it, and then he would say, I'm sorry, I screwed up again. And that's why he's in rehab right now. Because he's sorry and he screwed up again. But I give him the utmost credit because he is doing, even his counselor said he's doing much better than both of us thought he would. So, yeah. But this is my story, not his. So yeah, so then I would go for a few months and then fall through the cracks because I didn't let myself have that support from other people and reach out to have support for other people. And then this time I went to rehab, obviously, and I had 30 girls living with me, and I had the best roommate ever. Like, from the moment I walked in, she was the most supportive person ever, and we got along famously. Like, we never argued about anything. All the other roommates would argue about the television situation, the temperature of the room, like, when they would take a shower, like, who would sweep the whole, like, 9 by 9 foot floor that the bedroom was. Like, the most stupid things possible. Like, people would move out just because of somebody sweeping the floor. It was like really? But yeah, so she and I lucked out that we found each other because we were like two peas in a pod. We still talk almost every day, and that's part of it. It's part of the support. So yeah, so I ended up with the best roommate ever. And then I was there with 30 girls who we were there for the same reason. Granted, we all have different stories and ways they came about, but we were all there for the same reason, because we all wanted to better ourselves and make ourselves on a better path so we could all help each other. And then I graduated, and the first thing I did was go to, well, not the first thing, obviously. I wanted to go home and see my dog and my husband, but my dog. He teases me all the time because he knew that I wanted to see her first. But what I did was I came home and I looked up an AA meeting to go to. And to this day, I go to that AA meeting every Monday through Friday because that's when we hold it. And I'm a part of it. I'm a big part of it. And I'm very close to a lot of people in it. And, like, my best friend is in it. And, like, people that I wouldn't give up for the world. And if I didn't have those people, I don't know where I'd be now, because I support them every day and they support me every day. And they make me realize that this is why I didn't succeed in the past, because I didn't ask for help. I not even ask, but I didn't tell other people, hey, I have a problem. Like, and other people didn't say, hey, I have a problem just like yours. You're not alone. Whereas in the past it was like, I'm alone and that's all I want to be is alone. But now it's like, I don't want to be alone. I like to be able to call someone or text someone and just to be able to say, hey, like, not even have like a real conversation or whatever, just to know that somebody out there is like me, and that's that. Like, you're not gonna judge me just because I want to say hi. Like, because there's so many people out there that would just be like, oh, Jess is texting me. What does she want now? No, it's not like that. Like, maybe one day in the past I was, because it was like alcohol took over my life at one point, but I'm not that person anymore. And they say all the time at my AA meetings, and no, I'm sorry, not mine, our group AA meetings, I should say, we can't be judged by the people that we were when we were taken over by alcohol, because that's the thing, we were taken over by alcohol. People who don't have this disease don't understand that it really does overtake our entire self. The decisions we make, the things we say, the things we think. And then when we're not thinking because we're blacked out, that there is no thought process in our heads. our entire chemicals in our brains are just completely shut off, and we're just not there. We're a puppet robot that's just, it looks like we're functioning, but we're not. And yet we're still blamed for everything. So if I didn't reach out this time and look for, well, not really, I guess, yeah, look for a fellowship and know, just to know that people around me are like me and actually care enough to just say hi, or just be like, hey, I know what you're going through, or hey, I'm just like you, instead of looking down upon me like you got a problem, dude, or like, yeah, I'm kind of better than you because I don't have a disease like that. I'm like, ugh. It's just, my meetings, the meetings that I go to, I keep calling them mine, but it's because it's my home group and I adore the meetings I go to every day. But that's my comfort zone. That's where I feel safe most in the world. And everybody needs that safe place, especially when there's other people there that can make you feel safe. And that's what I wanted to portray tonight, is because a lot of times when you're alone, you're the least safe. Because you can get in your own head and tell yourself that you might be safe, but you're really not. Because you can be your own worst enemy. I know I was. Believe me, I was my own worst enemy. Because I could always tell myself, well, you can do it. No one will ever know. But I don't want it to be that no one will ever know. I want it to be that I would never have anything to know. So then I wouldn't have to question it anyway. So if anyone can get anything out of what I have to say tonight, it's that you are not alone. And if you ever need or want help, or just someone to talk to, please don't hesitate to reach out. Thanks. I hope you have a good evening, weekend, spring, because it just started, anything.